Hello. This is Akua Hinds. You're watching an episode of Akua Hinds online, the Big Goals and Big Dreams Cause and Effect episode. This is part 3. I'm here with North America's favorite producer and coach, Mickey Grace, also known as Michelle Bacani Lim.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. The other episodes, I switched it around. I said Michelle Bacani Lim, otherwise known as Mickey Grace, so I just do something different.
I like it.
Thank you. Now, in this segment, we're going to talk a little bit about faking it until you make it. Earlier, we discussed vision boards and how they can really help to bring dreams and goals into fruition. We talked about the naysayers, how to deal with them, how to deal with yourself if you are the biggest naysayer in your life. And now we're just going to talk a little bit about faking it until you make it. Now, when I was in Florida in May, and someone who was there, it was a producers convention, and someone who was there was saying to everybody else that, you know what, just fake it until you make it, and you'll get business that way, and people will believe in you. I want to know from your perspective, Michelle, as a producer and coach, is faking it until you make it helpful? Is it really, I mean, you and I are both very much into sales and marketing and other venues that we discussed, but is that harmful or is that helpful? I really want to know your take on that.
Well, I think, one of the struggles that some clients come to me with is, and myself included, is how do I visualize being where I want to be? Because I know that, we talked about naysayers and our own negative mindset and how that actually could attract the exact opposite of what we're looking to do. So one of the challenges with people is, well, if I want to be a multimillionaire, don't I have to find a way to imagine it? Don't I have to find a way to line up with my alignment? Do I need to know how to line up with my vibe, my energy, and feel like I'm a multimillionaire? How do I do that if I've never been there, if I've never done that, if I've never experienced that before?
Right.
Well, I think that actually lines up a lot with what we're discussing right now, which is faking it till you make it. And I'd rather use other words, first of all, because faking it just sounds fake. And if you're faking it, you know what? You're really not proving you're not proving anything to anyone, really.
So what words do you suggest that people use instead?
Sure.
I mean, we talked about how in part 1, we talked about how vision boards, even if you don't have that thing that you envision for yourself, put it on the vision board anyways and work towards that. Let that picture or that statement that you write down and post on the vision board be the guide. So
I would actually, and we spoke about this a little bit before, so I had some time to prep myself. I kind of, the way that I describe it is to look at your current reality, to recognize that your current reality is not your future possibility. Okay.
So powerful.
So as an example, and faking it till you make it, I mean, it might work if that terminology works. So here's what that might be like. Okay. Well, let's say your bank account doesn't reflect what you want it to reflect. But focusing on the fact that it doesn't reflect what you want it to reflect is going to make you feel like crap. It's going to make you feel bad and down and so forth. So one way that you might understand that your current reality does not represent your current possibility or your future possibility is by dressing nicely, or by treating yourself from time to time, or some people drive a better car than what they might be able to afford. Some people say that that's faking it till you make it, right? Or some people might go try to drive cars, or they might go visit houses. Before we moved into the home that we live in now, I would drag Chris around to go to all these open houses and take a look at these gorgeous homes. And I still do that. I still go driving around in beautiful neighborhoods and look at these homes. And I don't think that that's faking it. I think that's actually aligning your energy in another way so that you can become familiar with, be comfortable with, certain experiences that you want to have for your future. Now, I'm talking a lot about money, and the reason why I think is because when you think about faking it till you make it, you think about, people faking that they have money. I find that it kind of resonates with that specifically.
It does. Yeah. It could also be, people could also use that term in their relationships too.
Oh,
the relationship may not be at the place that you want it to be at, but
maybe you're not willing to showcase
to face that.
Absolutely,
yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And
is that harmful or helpful?
Well, like I said, I think it really isn't in the perception. I always go back to definition. I always go back to what does it mean for you? And think about it. When you say I'm faking it till I make it, it doesn't make me feel very good. I know that when I say it that way.
Either. That's why I felt like, we have to touch on this topic because it lines in with the whole theme of big goals, big dreams,
and so I think that's why I would say, come up with your own definition. And
Absolutely.
That's the definition that as I said, I came up with is, understanding that your current reality doesn't necessarily represent your future or current possibility. I took a picture this morning on Facebook, and it was a beautiful picture looking outside of my kitchen window, looking at the sun, and it just had a little bit, a few trees in the way. And I said something like, this picture brought, and I do this often, this picture brought to you by your kitchen window. When's the last time you looked out and appreciated the simplicity of it?
I like that.
And so, I think, again, it's all about perception. And one of the first things that you can do instead of faking it till you make it is to look at your life and recognize and appreciate and be in gratitude for what you currently have. In many biblical passages, in many different, faith-based books, it talks about how appreciating where you are and you will receive more, doesn't it?
Oh. So true.
So this is one of the number one ways, and you will see this. The most successful people, they do this. They talk about, taking gratitude steps. So like walking, and feeling gratitude every single time. You have gratitude rocks, people carrying these rocks around that represent, every time they touch that rock, it, they realize that they need to appreciate something. And
I have a gratitude ring.
Do you? That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right.
It to you.
Yes, I've seen it before. But absolutely, I just think, there's so many other ways that you can begin to visualize. There's so many other ways that you can begin to live into a reality. One more thing that I want to say about this is what's amazing is looking at your life, not only seeing what has currently happened, but even in the past, and maybe recognizing, hey, maybe that was a way for me to experience certain things. One of the things, I share with people is we used to live in California, my husband and myself, and we really shouldn't have lived there at that time. We probably couldn't afford to live in, a $2,500 per month rent, which was about 7 years ago. So I don't even know what it is. We were living in West Hollywood, but some of the experiences, thankfully, through the amazing friends that we had out there was very, very high-end experiences. I mean, we went to parties in the Hollywood Hills, and we met a lot of actors, and, we worked in Beverly Hills. And sometimes when I first came back to Canada after that experience, I felt like a failure.
Really?
I really did. I felt like a failure because I felt like, hey, I didn't make it in New York because we lived in New Jersey. I didn't make it in New York. I didn't make it in LA. Now I'm back in Brampton. I couldn't believe it. And I kind of beat myself up a little bit about it. And it hasn't been until the last couple years when I've really looked at my life and I've really understood, what direction am I going and how the media plays into my life and how the brand and luxury plays into my life. And I just realized, it was great to have those experiences because it helped me to see, what type of life do I really want to create for myself? How do I want to experience it? Another thing recently that happened is, I've worked with many personal development speakers in the past. And, as much as people want to say that they have these amazing, incredible lives, they don't necessarily. There's a lot of, they face, they're human beings too, and for a long time, I think I judged it completely. I judged those people and kind of said, ooh, I don't want that. And you know what? That kept me from really pursuing an incredible speaking career and an amazing coaching career. And now I'm not going to do that anymore. And I think looking back at your past and looking at previous experiences and seeing, am I blaming? Am I judging? Am I jealous? Am I justifying? Am I complaining in any way? And is that, again, with the naysayer mentality, is that keeping me where I am?
Oh, yeah. Excellent feedback and information. You're welcome. So I hope you enjoyed watching this particular series, Big Goals and Big Dreams. And
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
I feel very passionate about it, and I think you do,
I do too. Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
There are reasons, causes that you have these big goals and big dreams, and then there are effects. You know, how do you bring it together? So hopefully, what we discussed today was helpful. And again, I want to encourage you to, share these video links with people you know. You can follow me on Twitter at Akua Hinds. You can visit my website, www.akuahinds.com. You can also like my Facebook profile page. And just, I would love to put even more content out there. We were talking about that in the previous episode. I do have a lot of content in cyberspace and offline as well that's out there floating around somewhere. I know that a lot of my content gets shared around the world because people do share that with me. But I just want you to know that we are very passionate about getting more valuable information out there to you. So be sure to check out Michelle's website. Follow her on Twitter.
Can I tell them what it is? So
absolutely.
It's Mickey Grace, MIKIGRACE, Squarespace, all one word, .squarespace.com. And you can check that out. I'm also on Twitter, Michelle G. Bacani, and on Facebook at themickygrace.com. I know we're going to be talking about our next show, so maybe you can share about that. I'm really excited about that one, actually.
I am too. We have quite a few shows coming up, and we have quite a few great show ideas. One of them is going to be a series we're going to be doing, not just one episode, but a few, I think, about network marketing. We're going to talk a little bit about the industry and whether or not, and really who should be in the industry too. It's available for everybody. Doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to be for you. And it doesn't mean too that if you join the company that you have to just follow what the network marketing company wants for you.
Very true.
You can choose to recruit if you want to, or you can choose to just do the business solo if you want to. You really should be putting your own goals and dreams into your business the way that you see fit. That isn't always, I know that a lot of network marketing companies promote recruiting. And I see absolutely nothing wrong with building a sales force. I think it's beautiful. However, some people might shy away from network marketing because they feel that that's the only way that they can be successful.
That's true.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that for people who are new to network marketing, and for people who are a bit more experienced. We're going to be discussing different topics about that. We also are going to talk about hair.
Yes.
So excited
I love
about
it.
that.
Yes.
And other wonderful topics too. So do stay tuned. Connect with us, Twitter, Facebook, our own personal websites, which have a lot of great content, information, blogs, videos, updates, events, news. So thank you. Is there anything else you wanted to share, Michelle?
No, I think just, closing off, just do not give up on your dreams. I know there are times when I have been right there, right at that cusp, right at that edge, and saying, is this, am I done? Is this the end of it? And always, it just immediately the answer shows up. Absolutely not. You are not done. Keep on believing in your dreams. And we want to share that with you. I think that's the purpose of this episode, is just to really inspire you to go back. What was it that you wanted to create in your life? Who did you want to meet? Who did you want to be? What did you want to do? What did you want to have? And just go for it. Do not give up.
Absolutely. I mean, there are people who are trained to help you realize how you can bring your dreams into fruition. Michelle's one of those people. And so I strongly encourage you to get involved in the discovery session for a limited time.
Yes,
they are complimentary. So do
I will save 5 for this audience specifically.
So if you mention that you saw Akua Hinds online and you learned about the discovery session through watching these episodes here, mention that to Michelle and she'll hook you up with a great package, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. So stay tuned for the future episodes coming up, relationships, network marketing, hair, astrology, all kinds of different topics, sales, marketing, everything, God, energy. Peace be with you. Thank you so much for watching, and
Thank
have
you
a
so
fabulous
much.
day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Thanks.